typically, things that taste bad, they say are good for your body.
Yeah, they're like soju, right? It tastes bad, but
tastes terrible,
yeah,
terrible for you. Good for your body.
That's what my wife drinks every morning breakfast
really?
with scrambled eggs.
To forget about you. We're going to be talking today about what do you do when you speak in Korean to a Korean, but they reply in English. And the reason I wanted to do this video is because I got a comment on my website. How do you deal with this situation? So you initiate a conversation using Korean, and they reply in English. It's really hard to get Korean speaking practice if you give in to everyone who responds in English. Have you heard this situation before?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen this situation many times, right?
I'm sure Koreans don't reply in English to you when you speak Korean.
They don't, yeah. But I don't look like you.
So why do Koreans do this, first of all?
I can think of two reasons, right? The first one, maybe, I'm all speculating here, maybe that they're just reacting to the white face or black face, a face that looks different from, the Korean faces. So automatically they think that, I should speak English to a foreigner, 외국인, right?
Yeah.
And the second reason I could think of is just to get more practice on their English. So being selfish.
Okay. Sometimes, I'd say that's probably the main two reasons. One is they see a non-Korean person speaking Korean to them, and they think, I should speak English to this person because their native language is English. So obviously they would prefer English. And then the other one would be a selfish reason.
Yeah.
This guy doesn't look like he speaks Korean. I want to practice my English.
One thing is for sure, if you speak English really well, you're considered to be like more intelligent, more educated. And probably it's true to some degree, to some extent.
So it could be just that they want to practice their English, kind of a selfish reason. But I think most of the reason that they're going to do it is because they're thinking about you in some way. They're thinking about you as a
consideration.
Yeah. Like, for one thing is they think that if they reply in Korean, even though you spoke to them in Korean, they worry that if they reply in Korean, you won't understand what they're saying.
Because they have met so many non-Korean who can only say basic greetings.
Right. 안녕하세요.
감사합니다.
Yeah.
And they were kind of, stopping right there.
Right.
Going beyond that point was impossible for them. They've seen so many non-Koreans like that.
Another possible reason, and I think this is the reason most people worry about when they ask this question. They're worried that they get an English response because the person didn't understand their Korean. Or they think their Korean was really bad, like barely understandable. In some cases, if you speak Korean to a Korean and your Korean is still very low level, the Korean might not have understood what you said. This would be like a pronunciation issue.
It's very possible.
That's possible too, though. This isn't all of the cases. A lot of people, when you speak Korean to a Korean and they reply back in English, if you're really that bad, you usually would know that it's because they didn't understand what you said, or you really weren't even sure of what you said. But if it's not that case, if you're sure of what you said and you're sure that what you said makes sense in Korean, something basic, nothing with difficult pronunciation, then it's not that. Really, don't worry about that. They understood you. I think another one would be the Korean doesn't know that you're trying to use Korean specifically, like to practice.
Because still, even for me, who's been dealing with a lot of non-Koreans who are learning Korean, still sometimes it's hard to believe that, wow, so many people are trying to learn my language. It's such a small country, and it wasn't popular as Chinese or Japanese. It's a pretty recent phenomenon, right? Learning Korean, the popularity of the language. So sometimes it just doesn't come to our head very easily that this person is actually trying to learn the language and trying to practice.
So the next thing we should talk about then is how should you react when you've spoken Korean and they reply with English? Don't get mad. That's the first step. However, you can keep using Korean if you want. You can acknowledge what they said in English, but continue speaking Korean if you want. You can even compliment their English in Korean if you want.
Yeah, that's a good strategy, actually.
Sometimes Koreans do that anyway to foreigners. Is the foreigner speaks Korean to a Korean and the Korean replies in English with a compliment about their Korean. Like, 은행은 어디 있어요? Where's the bank? And they'd reply, wow, your Korean is really good. Where did you learn Korean? They want to practice English too, and they recognized your Korean, they understood it, and they're impressed by it. So you can reply in the same way. You say,
I guess this is still helpful conversation too.
Yeah,
You're still
good.
speaking Korean, and
Right.
he or she is still speaking English.
And you're not ignoring them either. So,
Right. And you guys are
영어
communicating.
되게 잘하시네요, or whatever you want to say like that. Your English is so good. I'm
Because
really
honestly,
impressed.
listening to Korean is pretty easy these days. You can go to internet, you can watch some TV show, TV drama, but practicing, like speaking, that's the rare opportunity.
Yeah, it's
and
still
it helps you, even if the other person speaks English to you. Right?
Another thing that you can try to do is you can be direct with them. This depends on how your relationship is with them. If you've never met them before, it can be kind of weird. But if you know them, you can just tell them, hey, I'm studying Korean. Can we use 저 한국말 공부하고 있는데 우리 한국말로 하면 안 될까요? 한국말로 얘기해도 될까요? Something kind of like that. Just ask them directly, however you can. Can we speak Korean? I'm trying to practice my Korean. And I think Koreans would understand that too. They would also want someone to practice English with if they could. So it's kind of the same thing. You can even, if you want, you can even joke about it. You could say something like, 제가 한국말이 더 편했어요. I'm just more comfortable in Korean. Actually, I used to do that. When I was first learning Korean, I had a lot of people would try to reply in English if I spoke in Korean. It was really frustrating, but I didn't know what to do about it, and no one else really knew. So I would just start telling people that I was from France. And
nice.
I had
That's a good
taken
one.
French class for 5 years in high school and then a bit in college, so I was prepared.
So you're lying.
I was totally lying. 제가 프랑스 사람이라서 영어를 잘 몰라요. But that would usually kind of kill the atmosphere, and they would be kind of disappointed. I think they were hoping I was an
They were
American.
leaving? Yeah.
Yeah, they were hoping they
I
could
took language
practice
exchange
English.
for English Korean.
Yeah, it was funny, but to me,
Yeah,
only
of
to
course.
me. But yeah, I don't recommend doing like anything like that.
Right. But if
Anyway,
you're just
yeah.
upfront about it
Uh-huh.
and say that, hey, I'm trying to improve my Korean, I'm trying to practice listening and speaking, so can you help me? Can you help me? And that, I think 90% of the Koreans will respond to that positively, very positively.
So yeah, anyway, let us know what you think in the comments. I'll also have a link, of course, to Johnson's channel in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. 그럼 다음에 또 봐.
다음에 또 봐.